Auntie. So, who will start? You will start, brother? You first. Okay, we'll start off then.
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, Sai Ram. Over to you, Brother Siddharth.
Yeah, Sai Ram. Am I audible enough?
Absolutely.
Okay. Offering my humble and prayerful salutations to our beloved Swami. Let's all pray together to Swami to bless us with his divine message, bless us and make us soak in his leelas and experiences as we take this journey from the world to God. Sairam, and a wonderful and a very, very blissful evening on a very nice, very pleasant Sunday. Hope everybody's health is fine. Everybody's doing well.
Absolutely.
Okay. So today's session will be a little unique one. What we will do is there are few aspects, which needs to be covered, which we couldn't cover in the last session. So we'll try to cover that maybe 5, 7, 10 minutes in the beginning, and then we will talk about some of the very nectarine experiences of what happens when we take our journey from living room to kitchen, in the analogy that we use, or world to God. So I hope if people who are joined new, if they have gone through the videos, they will relate the kitchen and the living room analogies. Otherwise, it will be tough for them to understand what is kitchen, what is living room. But that's a journey which we need to take, because till now we have discussed a lot about what happens in the living room, what is living room, what happens there, what is kitchen, and kitchen में होता क्या है, kitchen में क्यों जाना चाहिए जब भी भूख लगे तो. So literally we know, but here in the spiritual parlance, it is kitchen is where the God sits, okay, in the analogy, and the living room is where the entire world is, which is filled with friends, family, relatives, and a lot of entertainment that happens. And we also discussed one more analogy on the same, by sitting in living room, what happens is about a baby. If you remember last session, we spoke about baby, that, baby is hungry, and many times, you give a pacifier. So pacifier, initially the baby sucks and try to understand, I got something which I wanted. But later on it realizes that's not something which I was waiting for. And, I would like to move to the real hunger for me to satisfy. And that is where it cries out loudly to the mother. Okay, I don't want pacifier. It just throws the pacifier away and then waits for the mother to come and pick it up, to give her milk, which is the real, which is God in that example. The mother is God and the child is what all of us are. And the pacifier is basically all the pseudo happiness that we derive from the world, the temporary happiness, or, kind of, which gives us temporary respite like a pacifier. But then we soon we should realize if we are still happy with the pacifier, then we are in a little difficult situation. But we need to realize that pacifier is not going to give us the actual satisfaction to our hunger, for which we need to call the mother on. And hunger is what we defined as, craving for God, or pining for God, or love for God, which we cannot kind of. And why we should have love for God, that also we discussed in a couple of sessions before, that is a real form, that is a real nature, that is our natural state, or that is a comfort zone which we are, which we should have, which we have lost it. And that's why we are desperate now to look for, some way to satisfy. The only challenge is we don't know where it is. So we try to search in the living room. Living room is where the world is. And वो दुनिया में हम लोग ढूंढ रहे कि शायद वहां पर खोया हुआ प्यार मिल जाए. And unfortunately, we keep on going on and on and on till someday, till someday that realization comes that is not the place I should be in. And finally, we start looking for the real love, which is only at Bhagwan's lotus feet. So that's the entire journey, the topic. I'm just summarizing in few statements about what all we have discussed till now. And the next part is the role of Sadguru, which we couldn't cover last time, but a very interesting analogy there also is all of us or some of us would have learned swimming. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Even if you're not learned swimming, you know what happens in the swimming. First, they put us in a shallow pond to get used to it. And after shallow pond is done, once we gain confidence, then we get into little deeper ponds or deeper, kind of a pool, swimming pool. Am I right? And then obviously, when you get into the deeper swimming pool, we also have the rings, the swimming ring or the swimming costume or, some kind of heavy thing which keeps us afloat. Okay. So those are the things that we go through. And the process is sometimes, or rather most of the time, from shallow to deep waters when we go, we obviously seek the hand of the trainer. We request him that, aap raho hamare saath jab tak, तैरना नहीं आ जाता fully. So we want that kind of support from the trainer. And eventually, once we are very confident, yes, now I can swim on my own, then naturally what happens, we tell the trainer, or the trainer also understands with his all his experience. He says, "Okay, now you should go ahead and, do on your own. You don't need my help anymore." And while saying that, he obviously removes all the rings and whatever we, swimming costume, swimming ka jo apparatus hai, which we use, that also is removed. And now we are in a position to swim on our own without any support. So that's the entire process of learning the swimming. And exactly that is what happens in our spiritual life also. So when we commence our spiritual journey, in this case, from living room to kitchen, or from the world of entertainment, false entertainment, to the real world of divinity, the kitchen that is there, the first step that happens is we go into the shallow pond, right? And shallow pond, matlab kya? Basically, we start getting that craving, a little bit of craving for God or for the Sadguru. Somebody somewhere, seeking minor episodes of happiness. So sometimes we call a satsang, sometimes we call a good company, whichever way, some small aspects. Also, some of the important steps to begin that swimming journey is also the introspection, which we spoke a lot in last two sessions. The introspection, ki kya permanent hai, kya temporary hai. Because unless we do that, we'll keep on satisfying ourselves with the pacifier in the living room. So till the child understands that pacifier is not something I need and I have to throw it off, तब तक introspection की बहुत जरूरत है. एक बार वो पता चल गया कि now I need to look for permanent and all this is temporary. That is where we start commencing a journey towards the kitchen, and also we start seeking help of the swimming in this example. So the shallow pond is basically love for Sadguru. We start looking for support to start, kind of going into the journey of swimming. So the shallowness of the pond is where we are looking at the first step, little bit of inclination towards divinity, towards godhood, towards purity, towards truth, all the different aspects through which we describe the divinity. वहां से शुरू होती है. तो shallow pond में हम लोग पहले, we start feeling comfortable. It's very easy, right? Shallow pond में swim करना बहुत आसान है. And that's why satsang and love for Sadguru actually are very easiest steps to start with. That's why Swami also says that whatever inputs we take from different senses, वहां से अपनी शुद्धिकरण शुरू हो जाता है. Thought process, conscious mind, subconscious mind, all that we discussed in the past. So that purity starts coming in once we start taking these inputs. And that's what the shallow pond is that. Ek bar we are comfortable with the shallow pond and now we want to, move to the deeper waters. We obviously take the help of the ring and all that. So ring and the swimming ring and all the costumes that we wear, they are like bhajans, they are like meditation, they are like seva. They are not end in itself. Okay, this is many times we have these questions in our mind that, I am doing bhajan, so I have arrived. No, bhajans, meditation, seva, satsang, all those are only the costumes. I think 2 days back in Bhagwan's message also, he in the thought for the day, science paths, if you see, he has mentioned this very clearly that bhajans, meditations, they are only means to achieve an end. They are not the end by itself. So many times we do get, आज मैंने 2 घंटा भजन किया, so I have done my job, I have achieved what I wanted. No, it is just a step towards it. It's only the costume that we have worn. So that costume really gives us the confidence that now, there is something to cling on. That's why this study circle also, when we come together, we feel comfortable, happy because there's something to cling on. There is divinity, there is Swami around, his messages, beautiful stories, and some important messages of Swami has been shared and, discussed upon. So these are all costumes that we wear or the ring that we have. And then we say, chalo, I want to really get into deeper waters. The interest level is much higher because now I got a confidence. I can swim through the shallow pond. Then I've got the safety ring around me, which is bhajans, Narayan Seva, study circle, or meditation, whatever, all the different types of modes of achieving divinity. Those instruments are taken together, and then we seek the help of the trainer because now we want to go much more deeper, and we want to really, really interested to go deeper and not get stuck in the shallow water, because many times this happens in the journey. We are very comfortable in shallow water and that's about it. One of the study circles, not in this session, in other Samiti where we were taking the study circle session, one of the persons asked, 30 years se main bhajan kar raha hu. I'm a bhajan coordinator. 30 years se main bhajan kar raha hu. But मेरा ना गुस्सा कम हो रहा है, ना मेरी jealousy कम हो रही है, सारे षड्रिपुज are still active. What is the reason? So nothing wrong with him, but the challenge is then we need to introspect कि क्यों हो रहा है. 30 साल का भजन, it's not. So first thing is, have we taken bhajan as the so-called we have arrived? कि I've done my job. मेरा आज का tick mark attendance हो गया भगवान के घर में कि yes, I've done what you told me, bhajan मैंने किया. Is that's why it's a means to achieve an end, not an end itself. Second thing is the way Bhagwan explains or teaches us how to do bhajans. Are we following those practices? Having thought, word, and deed focused only on God and God alone, soaking into his glory. Or we are trying to compare and see that, whether I'm singing better or somebody else is singing better, or whether my sari is looking better than somebody's sari is better, or why I was not given a chance to sing at all. And we have come across many such very senior people in Dharma Kshetra, where people have said that, I was not given a chance to sing and henceforth I will not come to Dharma Kshetra. We have had such real life cases. So if that thought process is there, probably we are, happy with the shallow pond because that gives us a satisfaction, but we're not ready to get into deeper ponds or deeper waters. So that introspection, again, we need to do, whether are we getting into that trap? Okay. And no, nobody can give us answer. Only we have to give answers to ourselves. And that's why on the path of divinity, introspection is extremely important. And not just introspection of permanent, temporary, how much we have hunger for God. Those are some aspects of it. Introspection in every aspect. Okay, whether we are, where we are on the stage of this journey. And then, so fortunately, suppose, through the introspection, we arrive that, yes, I'm not yet there and I need that support from the Sadguru. That is where we call upon the trainer. And we want to go more deeper into the deeper ponds, which is there. And, that is where the call for the Lord comes. And the Lord says, okay, I will, catch your hand and let's go together because you're now ready. So bhajan, satsang, karte, that is where the safety ring is there. We go into the deeper ponds and we have the hand of God with us. So there is less worry that मैं डूब गया तो क्या होगा. कभी भी डूब नहीं सकते if you have got hand of God with you. And that's why in the deeper waters, he's all the time taking us, training us कि अभी ये करो, वो करो, ये मत करो, वो मत करो. अभी एक पाव ऐसे डालो, एक हाथ ऐसे डालो. Then he will, depends upon how much our capacities, he even tells us to stop and then come back tomorrow. These are the real, I'm not telling you just a philosophy. And that's why after this concept explanation, we will get into the experiences of what that swimming thing is. So wo karte, one fine day, he says, now you are ready. Now you can swim like me. You don't need any more safety. You don't need any more hand of, me as a trainer, because now you're fully trained. And that is where he says, now go. I will not come anymore because you are as good as me. Now you can go and swim in the deeper waters without any support. And that is what Swami says, no, I and you are one. So once we become one with him, that is where the trainer in our life, our own Swami says, okay, now you can swim the way you want because you don't need my support anymore. And that is a journey which happens. And then finally, what is a deeper pond here? Deeper pond is basically the eternity, the supreme pure consciousness, the divinity all around. And वहां पर अगर हम एकाग्र हो गए और सर्वज्ञ हो गए, we are one with that, then we don't need any more support. So the role of Sadguru is to achieve till that stage. Uske baad Sadguru also withdraws because you don't need anymore. And इसमें भी एक example है, I don't know how many you know, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also reached that stage. And he was not willing to, kind of let go of his guru. Totapuri was his guru. I don't know how many of you heard. Totapuri was his guru and he was not willing. And because he's not, taking that jump to go on his own, that is where Totapuri comes and tells him, okay, why are you not leaving me? Why are you clinging to me? And that is where he uses, I don't know how many of you know, he uses the glass, a bottle. He breaks the glass bottle, choti si, and then he pierces on his third eye, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And moment he pierces his third eye, immediately he gets, he gets into that higher state. And then he says, I don't need anybody. I can swim on my own. And that's why many times clinging on to a guru is also, an impediment on our highest level of realization. Okay. And all the divine masters have said this. Buddha also says the same thing. Mahavira says the same thing. Swami also says the same thing, that physical body always says that physical body or guru is just a temporary thing. You have to go beyond. Okay, so that's why we have to let go of the trainer once we are ready to do it. Okay, the more we cling on to the trainer, then, we will never be, ready to swim on our own. And that's why the role of Sadguru or role of an avatar, even avatar, because avatar has a limited time period in his physical body. Okay, fortunately, it's not that after the body is gone, the world is ended with him. There is a still journey which goes on. But the important point is still he is present in his physical body. All of us who are on this path of love, which is a topic, we need to develop that relation with him. We need to sign ourselves with him that, you are my trainer, I am your student. एक बार वो हो गया, फिर even the avatar moves on with his physical body, the divine spirit constantly guides us on this. But उसके बाद we need to definitely take that jump and be one with him. और एक कैसे हो सकेगा जब when we stop having the duality, right? There is guru and there is shishya. वो जब भी difference निकल जाएगा तभी guru और shishya एक हो पाएंगे. And that is the stage when we have to let go of the guru and go beyond. It's not easy, that step. The last step is difficult because we are so much in love with our guru that we don't want him to let go. And that is what happened to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He said, no, I can't leave my guru Totapuri, who actually taught me on this path. And, finally the guru has to take that step to push him out so that he goes and swims into the deeper waters and becomes one with it. So that's the role of Sadguru. Why we are discussing on this aspect is some of the pitfalls on this path is not to think that bhajan, satsang, study circle, meditation, Narayan Seva means I've done what I wanted to do. It's only a means to achieve an end, not an end. Second pitfall is if Sadguru is there, I'm done. No, Sadguru is again, it's a next step. After I have done my shallow pond swimming, I've got all the basics, interest in God, I've got my satsang, I've got all those things I'm doing. Next step is Sadguru ka support लेके deeper water में जाना चाहिए. And उसके बाद constant practices, even Swami says abhyasa, constant practice, patience and perseverance ke through, we will be in a position to go deeper and deeper and deeper till God says कि now we have arrived. Now you don't need my support anymore. You're already sitting in the kitchen. You don't need to be kind of searching anywhere. So uske baad, obviously, once you become one with that, you don't need to come to living room at all because you have achieved nirvana. You have no more relatives in that sense because you have achieved what you wanted. Okay, till that level, obviously, the question which Sanjana auntie asked last time, that what happens to your duty into the world if you are sitting in kitchen? Till that time, God comes catching your hand from the kitchen to fulfill your duties into the living room, to meet all your duties towards family, relatives, friends, and whatever social responsibilities you have, but you have the hand of God with you, which is where the deeper waters may, when you have hand of trainer with you. But once you have completed all your karmas, okay, going back to the karma theory, you have squared off all your balance sheet, the assets and liabilities are balanced, give and take is done, your account is zero, you go back to the kitchen and merge with him. You don't need to come back to living room anymore. That's the highest state, obviously. But wo stage ke pehle, the role of Sadguru is very, very critical. But the pitfall is, once we are reaching that stage, we should have the back of the mind that Sadguru is not an end in itself. It's also a means to achieve an end. So that is what we couldn't discuss last time. So I thought, let me share this initial piece with you before we get into the experiences of what happens when you're walking on this path. Any questions? Was it easy to understand or it was confusing?
It's easy, yeah.
Very easy. You make it very easy, Siddharth.
All Bhagwan's grace, the anecdotes also come from him, to be honest.
Can I say something?
Sure, Auntie.
Yeah, actually, like you said, no, that then you don't need to go to the living room anymore. But I feel I was just hearing a talk in the morning. Muji, you've heard of Muji. So he was saying that when you get realization also, you can easily function in the normal world without it affecting you at all, and you will be doing it even better than you would have done had you been in that duality. So now you've attained nirvana, but it's everything's only, you're not attached. That is the only, and so you enjoy it even more. So it doesn't really make you leave off anything. And you don't have to leave off anything, because you said about that question of Sanjana's. It's just that you do it even more beautifully, without any tension, without any attachment. So that's what I wanted to say.
Very true. So since you brought in a very interesting point, there is a difference between self-realization and God realization. Okay, I don't know how many of you know this. See, self-realization is a step where a fan is switched off. The fan is switched off. Fan switch off hone ke baad, does it stop immediately or it takes some time to come to a complete halt? So it takes some time, right? थोड़ा slow होते फिर वो एकदम grinding halt पे आ जाता है. So that when it comes to grinding halt is exactly where the God realization happens, when we become completely one with the divinity. So there are a lot of selfless souls in the world who are still functioning. Their fans have been switched off. So no more new karmas have been created. The old karmas ka effect aayega till the time the fan slows down. Dhire. So they are fully aware of their activity. And because they are in that state of awareness, they are, what you said, they enjoy the world being detached, because there is no emotions or kind of involvement into the day-to-day activities. Yeah. They are just a witness to the movie which they are seeing. So,
because it's the perception of the world that is actually the cause of all sorrow. It is not really the world that is giving us trouble or whatever. It's how we perceive it. So once that gets cleared, it becomes easier.
Absolutely. So that's the main difference. So I'm glad that you brought that point up. So if no more questions, then we can dive deep into the deep waters, if it is okay with everybody. Okay.
One point, as you were mentioning, Brother Siddharth, as you were giving that analogy of a shallow pond and a deeper pond, how Guru or guide or God, whomever we find in one, and he takes our hand and puts us, then says, there you go, you are ready and you can embark on your journey. Even after that, he's always standing by, knowing that we will falter. And there's something interesting which I read in Radio Sai some time ago. There's a Cherokee tribe in that tribe, what happens is a boy is not declared a man till he passes the test. And that particular test is the boy is left into the dense jungle in the night, okay, in a very dark jungle at the age of 13. And if he happens to cross that particular night alive, he will be declared a man. So abhi kya hota hai? They take him to the jungle, they put him there, and the boy is damn scared because dense jungle, lions and all can come. Now he has to survive the night. The Lord has said, you are trained, you are done, and now you got to do on yourself. And just as he's too scared, perspiring, not thinking what to do, whether I'll survive, and all this, the morning dawns after the whole struggle of the night. And when the morning dawns, he feels that he has done it, and it, like abhi tak to hum unsure the, lekin ab kehne lagta hai, I've done it. And when he's getting up and going towards the village, he looks up and then he sees on the tree, his father is sitting there. So meaning that while we think that we have been trained and all that, and now we can take the credit of having become self-dependent, he's all the time watching us, helping us, seeing us through the night. So that was something which I wanted to add, quite relevant to it.
May I ask one question, please?
Just 1 second, but before Aarti auntie asked, I think very nice example or analogy you said, and in fact, as you spoke, couple of more stories came to my mind, but I'll restrict because there are other things to discuss. But it's a very interesting thing because that's why the love of thousand mothers. While we are still trying to swim on our own, there is a watchful eye on the top till we completely stabilize. Once we are completely stabilized, then the Guru completely withdraws from it because he is now more confident in us that you can do it. So very beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Aarti.
Actually, that's what I wanted to ask. You said at a particular stage you don't need your Sadguru. So at that time, how complete? What do you become at that stage? If you do not need the person who has guided you, emulated you, and you don't need him.
That only your heart will know. Because you are so much in tune with him, you will start feeling that you and him, or you and the divine, Sadguru is one and the same. Okay, it can't be expressed in the word. At this stage, now I can withdraw. It's completely between the Guru and the Shishya, which is there. So it is, and each one of us are different. There is no standard that out of 9th step ho gaya matlab. Each one has which stage of the journey it is, the Guru decides accordingly. So you come to know, you definitely come to know where, you get so many, I can say dreams, visions. You come to know that you're reaching that stage. I can just maybe explain to you in one line is where you see yourself as Swami. You start seeing, not imagining, you actually start behaving internally like Swami. From nowhere, you start getting intuitions, you can foresee things. Jo divine qualities are there, you start actually emulating within. But वहां पर pitfall क्या है मालूम है? बहुत लोग, people who has little bit of still ego left, that ego overpowers that climactic situation, and then people misuse the siddhis. You start getting those siddhis because you're becoming so close to divinity that you start. It's like the example of that pakoda and the newspaper. Very common example. We have spoken a lot about it, but association with the pakoda gives the smell of pakoda to the newspaper. So newspaper is mind. Pakoda is basically the divine soul or guru or energy or whatever name you call it. So the closer and closer association you are, you start having that divine fragrance. You come to know. It's very difficult to put into words that this is the right stage. You just come to know. And yeah, it should not be a mental jugglery. I'm trying to visualize. If you try to visualize, no, that's only the mind who is playing the game. It's your heart will tell you. Okay, now, see, automatically those symptoms will start coming. You'll be more silent. You will be completely self-satisfied. You will not require anything for you to be satisfied outside. You will be complete in all respects. Because you're inching towards your real nature, right? That's what we started with. Why do we are looking for love? Because that's a real nature. I've lost my real nature because my mind has gone away from me. It has gone into the world. So it is hankering on, yahan se thoda sa pyar mil jaye, yahan se mil jaye. And all the time, what happens, anything that we try outside will always end up in sorrow. Till the time the mind says ki nahi, abhi mujhe, I need to do something different, which is that pacifier stories. I throw the pacifier and say, no, I want that. That craving, that pining begins, and you go back within. And you come so close to that love within that you start feeling complete. You no longer depend on anybody else. So such people, some symptoms I can always suggest you, but they are not in end in itself. Some symptoms are the person who would like to remain silent, who would like to avoid congregation, big groups, because it's so complete within. He's completely satisfied. He's enjoying the divine bliss. It doesn't need anything more. So it's like, you have found your closest friend. You would like to spend as much time with the closest friend than trying to have, outside, that's why I said in a love marriage, what happens? You are all the time thinking about the person. खाने के लिए गया वहां पर भी सोचा, मूवी के लिए गया वहां पर भी सोचा, रिलेटिव्स के साथ बैठा हूं तो भी all the thoughts are about him. So you start coming closer and closer and closer and closer, and you actually become so close that you start emulating. Again, the story of Rama and Bharata. Bharata, constant chintan of Rama, started looking like Rama himself.
So you and the Sadguru become one.
Yeah, I mean, Sadguru is the one who is a guiding. So see, in our example of pond, you can swim as good as a Sadguru. You have become the master himself. You seeing the difference? You are the master yourself. Now you can swim on your own. You can guide others also, because you have achieved oneness with your master. Fine. So at what stage your heart will tell you. Each one's journey is different. Difficult to put into word, but some symptoms is what I suggested. These are the symptoms you'll start seeing. And obviously there are dreams, visions, automatically you'll come to know. You will actually be so much soaked into divinity ke, aapki zindagi, if I'm still trying to express in some words, though it is difficult to express, it will be absolutely blissful life. Means there is no words to express that bliss, because you have found yourself. Everywhere you open your eyes, you only see andar dekho, bahar dekho, sab jagah Swami dikh rahe. And it just naturally happens. Again, point is, Swami dikh rahe doesn't mean you start seeing orange robe and halo of hair. No. Swami is an ehsas. It's a strong feeling. Okay, he is expressed through feeling. You start feeling his presence everywhere. Okay, some physical representation of that feeling is a vibhuti fragrance passing by. A tap on your shoulder when nobody is around you. You get some fragrances which means you have never ever experienced it. No perfume can match that fragrance. Okay. Suddenly from nowhere, you will get a clue from, either a book or a TV or somewhere that this is what you should be doing. Because there are different ways the divine energy communicates with us. Okay. The level of coincidence is increased substantially. जो हमारे ग्रॉस लेवल पे बोलते हैं लक, बाय लक तुमको मिल गया. Okay, maybe by chance हो गया. Those are never by chances. Those are all coincidences. And in a psi circle, we call it scientidences, because just to word that divine energy as Swami, it is Swami who gets it done for us. And if you go back to our respective lives, you'll see there's so many things Swami would have done for us, which we are probably not aware of. Isn't it? Go back to our book, our own life as a book. So many things. The only thing is we start becoming aware. The shift is we become aware. We were not aware. Many good things have happened and gone. हमको पता भी नहीं चला कि ये स्वामी ने कर दिया. But on this path, as you become closer and closer, he starts making you feel aware about it. You come to know that this is Swami is doing. So that awareness level increases. How much? And that's why one of the other ways, other symptoms of reaching closer to that stage is you will be overflowing with gratitude. आपका दिल इतना भर जाएगा प्यार से और खुशी से कि you will start feeling gratitude towards everybody. And slowly and steadily, there will be no enemies for you, because everybody is your friend. आपको सभी जगह, even the worst so-called person who is damaging you also, you'll start naturally seeing good in others. These are natural things will happen to you. Because of so much of purity and bliss, you'll start seeing those things everywhere. It is natural. You're not practicing it to see good in others. That is temporary. एक बार एक हवा का झोंका आ गया, we'll shift back to our real self, natural state. He's bad. This guy shouldn't have done this. Why did she gossip about it? All that will be a natural state if you are not aware. But एक बार ये stage पे पहुंचेंगे तो it becomes very natural. You will start getting that sense of gratitude gratitude becomes a natural part of your nature. So those are some of the symptoms. I'm just trying to define. It is difficult to define that stage, but some feelings, some symptoms you will get of this kind. And it is not momentary, it is constant. So initially, dhire, jaise COVID. Okay, let me explain the latest disease, so-called disease that we have. Our good friend COVID पहले आएगा, फिर थोड़ी सी वीकनेस आएगी, फिर धीरे धीरे फीवर आएगा, फिर धीरे धीरे सेंस ऑफ स्मेल एंड टेस्ट चला जाएगा, फिर एवरीथिंग विल देन विल एट अ पीक will have abnormal perspiration, all that will happen. It's a very funny example to give, but धीरे 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 that is what happens. Same is the case. Initial छोटे मोटे symptoms आएंगे, you will be surprised, अरे ये हुआ मुझे भी नहीं पता था, wow how nice. थोड़े दिन के बाद वो रिपीट होगा, उसके बाद फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़ जाएगी. Then you will start seeing more and more and more. Once you start seeing more and more, that realization comes, and that is where the surrender happens automatically. Because now you know that you are no longer, you are no longer doer of your life. It is He who does it. So all the divine messages of Bhagavan, surrender, love all, serve all, naturally becomes part of our nature. And that's why, again, I go back to the, first thing that we spoke, 4 sessions back on this topic when we started. If we get this right, we have got everything right. You don't need to do anything. And that's why all the Gopikas, they simply loved. They never sat for 3 a.m. in the morning to meditate. They just loved Krishna. There was no reason for, no season for. They just loved. And through that love, sari cheez aa gayi unke paas. Automatically, they achieved everything because that one path of love is there. It is another analogy I can say. आपके घर पे कॉट है, बेड, कॉट और सोफा, व्हाटएवर, उसके पास 4 पहिए, व्हाट यू कॉल द 4
बेड पोस्ट,
व्हाट यू कॉल इट,
बेड पोस्ट.
नहीं, बेड जो खड़ा रहता है वो 4 व्हाटएवर,
बेड पोस्ट,
legs,
सपोर्ट 4 सपोर्ट पे बेड खड़ा रहता है. ओके, पहिया, चलो 4 पहिए पे खड़ा रहता है बेड. If you want to pull the bed towards you, what will you do? You will pull all the 4, then only it will come. You will pull one, that's enough, right? Remaining 3 will come on its own. That's how this path is. If you have love, immense love for God, all other paths will come automatically. And that love will start reflecting into work, into our thoughts, into our behavior, into our mindset, into our attitude. Everything will be impacted by that beautiful state of love. Okay, I can go on describing different things. We are reaching 7:15. We have experiences still to work on, but I'll take it off from here. And one important point I would suggest, when we are now entering into that state of experiences, यहाँ पर intelligence, mind, analysis, paralysis cannot work. Okay, so I would suggest just relax, leave off all your worries, leave off all your thought processes, intelligence when you're listening to these experiences, and just soak into it. Then you will get the benefit of it. I was planning, I have some couple of songs also which I thought, because love is full of music. So a couple of songs which will give us some insight and that feeling of divinity with us. I don't know how much time probably is too short to do that, but we'll see how it goes. If people are okay, we can, I don't extend by 5-10 minutes, 7:40 tak खींच सकेंगे, तो we can do those things. If it is tough, then we will stop. Okay, so just keep aside all your question marks for now. Keep aside all your thoughts, intelligence, everything, and just soak into the divinity. Okay, what I will do, let me start with a small song. It's a 2 minutes. Some of you would have heard it or it would be new also, but go by the meaning of the song. Okay, just close your eyes, go by the meaning of the song. There is no video, it's just an audio. So you can close your eyes, enjoy yourself, and then we'll soak into the beautiful experiences that you'll have. You just give me a second, I'll just put on that. Please share it. Let me know if you're able to hear. think others can switch off the audio so that it becomes quite clear, unless you want to speak. You're able to see a blank screen? Yeah. Okay. I'm switching on now. In case you're not able to hear the sound, let me know.
राम पद्म चरण सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण इन चरणों का जग पिता ब्रह्मा भी प्रक्षाल करें सप्त ऋषि भी इनको पूजे योगी ध्यान धरे छूटे जन्म मरण सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण बलि को इन चरणों ने पाताल में भेज दिया तीनों लोक को तीन ही पग में क्षण में नाप लिया पाप करते शमन सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण ये उद्धारक चरण है जो पाषाण को कर दे अहिल्या इन चरणों को सेवे लक्ष्मी इनसे निकली गंगा कोटि कोटि नमन सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण समय है अब भी तुम भी दशानन अपने अहम को तज दो समय है अब भी ये 10 मस्तक राम चरण में रख दो सबकी एक शरण सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण सुमिरो राम पद्म चरण
How was it?
Very nice.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Much of meaning. That, last part especially. Das mastak is the ego that we have. That ego, unless we surrender, we will not be able to experience the love. And that's why I said, drop all your mind, intelligence, questions, everything, and just soak. Because once we get into the deep waters, we just need to enjoy the swimming and not worry about the shallow pond and other things outside the pond, which is there. So that is how the journey that began personally to me, when I passed out from Prashanti Nilayam. And, some of you would have heard these experiences, maybe in different forum. Radio Sai also has these experiences or elsewhere, some other satsang. But I'll repeat it for those probably who wouldn't have heard. It was a time when I was leaving the shores of Prashant Nilayam as a student, and I was completely upset because I didn't want to go out of Prashant Nilayam and leaving him and come. And he somehow, 11th of May, 2002, I remember, after we passed out, we went to Vrindavan, and I just asked Swami, what am I supposed to do next? And he just said, kya padhai kiya? So I said, Masters in Finance. Finance management is good. Jada studies mat karo. Now you go home and go back and then serve. So I was quite upset because I was wondering that he will say that probably stay back or I'll give you something. So I was about to kind of go back to him and Swami, I want to stay back with you. Before that, he started materializing the vibhuti, he gave it. So I had no opportunity left to even speak and share my thoughts. And I was just collecting the vibhuti from his hand, and he just said, just take Pad Namaskar. And Pad Namaskar liya, and by the time I got up, he just smiled and he walked away. So I didn't have anything to speak about, but I was quite upset because now it's a time when I have to go. And, once you are, actually sitting in the kitchen, God is telling, go back to the living room. That was the stage. And I was not happy. I said, no, I'm very happy with the kitchen. I don't want to go to living room. Once you've tasted his love, you don't want to go back. But God is kind. And that is where after 3-4 months, so I used to play tabla in the mandir then, in the Prashanti Bhajan group. So I wrote a long letter to him saying that I would like to stay for 3-4 months so that I get a chance to play. Once I'm out and out, I cannot play anymore in the mandir. So he kindly agreed. And on August 2nd, 2002, I finally thought of, coming back to Mumbai. That morning darshan, afternoon ka train tha. I think some of you who used to or live in Bombay, they will know that evening we have this Kurla-Coimbatore express train. Sham ko 7-7:30 baje aspas nikalti. Wo time it was 5:30. So morning darshan was my last darshan. I was sitting on the threshold of Bhajan hall and facing the interview room, aage, next to Swami's throne. And those days Swami used to walk. This is 2002, well before he fell and got into the wheelchair. So morning after bhajans, he goes inside the interview room and then inside his kitchen to have his meals. He used to eat only once a day, and that was at 9:30 in the morning after morning bhajans. So he finished that and he came out. As he came out, I was kneeling there. So I asked him, Swami, I am going today, finally, since you want me to go. So he called me in the interview room. He said, and there was nobody else, only me and him. So he spoke a lot in Telugu, a lot, which obviously I don't know the language Telugu as good. So it all went bounces to me, but he was as if looking and he was visualizing something and saying. Uske baad he just looked at me after maybe 2 or 3 minutes, kept on speaking. And I was listening. Kuch samajh nahi aa raha, lekin it was so pleasant voice of Swami that, you enjoy even if you don't understand the meaning. After that, he looked down and he said, oh, tum ja rahe ho aaj? I said, yes, I'm going. Since you want me to, I told him I want to stay back. He said, no, tum jao. And then immediately he went to the, vibhuti basket. He picked few packets and he gave it to my hand. He said, take Pad Namaskar. And as I was just moving out, I told him that I want you to be with me always, which is what from kitchen to living room stage. When you're putting me into the living room, I don't want to leave your hand. And he was very, very kind. He just said, tum jao. I am always with you, in you, above you, below you, everywhere around you. And you know what the fickle mind is? Swami bolte hai. He sees like this. So I didn't take that seriously. And I just took it as a blessing and came out. See, I was very young. I was 21 or 22 then. So uske baad mein nikal ke aaya. Then I took a train in the evening with a lot of heavy heart. Time is out. Came back. It is a 24-hour journey. So I reached Bombay on 3rd of August 2002. And uske baad, that first night in my house, first night when I've reached, I get a beautiful dream. And the dream, Swami just walks into that house where I was living. I'm still living. So he just walks into that house in the dream. And I'm quite surprised to see him. I said, oh, Swami in Bombay in my house. And then Swami says, he started searching. Then he said, this is the room. This is the room I'll stay. And he straight away, and he was walking those days. So walked very fast. And I was chasing him. He walked straight in the room. There's a nice washroom. So he kept he was not carrying anything, but he kept his kerchief or something. And then he straight away walked in the kitchen, in the bathroom. He used the bathroom. I was standing outside in the dream. Okay. And then he came out and he said, this is the room I will stay. And after that, the dream ended and I woke up. And this is the first night after I came from Patti. And next day morning when I woke up, I just woke up in absolute bliss. I said, this means how Swami fulfills his word. He said, I'm always with you, above you, below you. And this confirmed that thing that, I'm still having Swami with me. It's not that I've lost him or I've, kind of gone. I'm away from him. So in our analogy, you can say that he walked with me from kitchen to living room, catching. And he said, this is the place where I will stay. So he is with us throughout. And you see, he's right now with us also. If you sometimes, many times, you get those fragrances around when you're sitting around his chair. And just to give more meat to this, proof to his existence around, one of the days, I think this was 2017, if I'm right, See, well past. This is when Swami was physically present. Okay, there are very many experiences after 2011 because that will give us more conviction that, it's Swami is not 5 feet 3 inch body which has gone and no more he exists. In fact, he exists more often now. So we have to be careful because you don't know when he is, from where is he watching us, and from nowhere he will appear in front of us. So one of these days, 2017, if I'm right, and this is 2011 ke baad, 6 saal after Mahasamadhi ke baad, you can see the chair, there is a nice water, tumbler kept for Swami. And every morning we change it. So one of these mornings, and what we normally do, morning you get up, take one sip as prasadam, and family members ko dete hain, and then whatever extra jo pani reh jata hai, we have a plant, so we just put into the plant. So even the plants are like family members. You give it to them, and then you wash the vessel again, and then put the fresh water back. So one of those mornings I woke up and I just removed the lid, put the first sip into my mouth. Something appeared, as if kuch tha andar. So immediately I felt कि कुछ मक्खी है, कुछ होगा, क्या है पता नहीं. And fortunately buddhi prevailed, or maybe it was not buddhi, rather Bhagwan gave that right thought कि just don't throw it into the sink, but first see what it is. So I straight away ran to my wash basin. Hamara wash basin is white in color, all of us have similarly, but a wide one. So it has a flat bed. The water doesn't go straight into the sink. So immediately I spit it out, and the moment I spit out, there was a big tulsi leaf. And that was mind-boggling because, as I'm telling you, I'm getting goosebumps now. And the tulsi leaf, immediately I realized tulsi leaf is one of the prasadam, right? It is considered as one of the most, you can say the best prasadam is in terms of, every prasadam is nice, but tulsi leaf is, has that auspiciousness around it. So immediately I saw it, and before it goes anywhere, I put it back in my mouth. I said, I don't want to lose this. Put it back into the mouth. I had that prasadam and ran to my family member and said, this is what I saw. And, this is something which is a visible, presence. Because many times subtle experiences, the mind questions, ki sahi hai ya hallucination. But this is a material physical presence. And around us, there is no tulsi plant. So if we want to confirm our rational minds, there is no tulsi plant. The lid, you can still see it is covered in such a way where unless somebody removes it and puts it, it can't go on its own. Okay. But that is how the visible presence of Bhagwan, which continues even today. So, and that's why the life becomes so very beautiful. And, one of those, I'm just flipping back here and there on the experiences of how his presence is still felt in this house. So, ये एक हो गया. दूसरी बात हुई 2002 when I passed out. I had in my office table, I used to keep Swami's photograph. I said, Swami ka ek photograph hona chahiye table pe. So that moment, whatever photograph I had handy, I just took it and kept it. It was not the best of frames. It was some, copper or whatever, some basic frame which could have, if you bend it, it'll, become like a scrap. But whatever I got, I could latch on. I used it immediately, took it to my office and kept it on my desk. So 2018, 16 saal, 2002 and I never bothered about it. It was always there. Whichever companies, I shifted my job, I also carried the photograph and kept it on my table. So that photograph has traveled with me in different offices. But 2018 mein, 1st July or 2nd July, 2018, suddenly a thought passed by mind. Yaar, ye photo bahut purana ho gaya hai. And it is that time, whatever I got, I kept it. And I've somehow managed to have 16 years, never bothered about it to even look for better photograph. But now it is time, better late than never. I should have a nice photograph kept on my desk. And you can't have an ordinary frame for so long. वो बात अलग थी, जो मिल गया वो रख दिया. अभी तो it's time that I should change. 2000, ये passing thought. I have not prayed. There is no prayer to Swami. It's a passing thought. Office में बैठा था, वो सोच आई 1st 2nd July 2018. Time passed by, I forgot about it. 15th of July, 13-14 days के बाद, we had a Samarpan in Mumbai, Dharmakshetra. And one of the guest speakers, he came from Parthi. We had invited him from Parthi, and we received him at airport, brought him in Dharmakshetra, gave him a room to stay. And before we were, making him comfortable and moving out, he just said, Siddharth, I want to give you something. So as a protocol normally, Swami says, don't take anything from others, give always. So I just told him, sir, we are the host, you are the guest, we can't take anything from you. It is only, if at all we have to take, seek your experiences, enjoy the messages. You're not, Swami will not expect us to take anything from you. So he said, no, this is meant for you, meant for you, meant for you. He was so insistent, and he was elderly man. So after some time, I just gave up. I said, "ठीक है," because he's a senior man, you can't push too much. And he said he went to his bag, removed it, and gave me a nice envelope. Bada sa envelope tha. And it was not anything else per se. It was just an envelope. And he said, take this and open in your house. यहाँ पर open मत करना. Go to your house and open it. So I was more curious कि ऐसा क्या चीज है कि घर जाके निकालना है. But then obviously we got busy into the arrangement of Samarpan, and then all that happened. Samarpan happened very beautifully as always. Then we went back home. घर आया तुरंत मैंने बैग रख दिया and I opened and saw it was a very beautiful desk photograph with a golden frame. And it was something which I was just thought came कि time has come for me to change this. Within 13-14 days, Bhagwan just sends through people. And that's why I'm saying you have to be always alert. You don't know from where. And actually I've got that photograph to show you. So let me see if you're able to see. This is the photograph. This is a desk photograph. It has a golden frame around it. And he just said, this is something specifically for you. I don't know. I've never told him this, but he said, this is meant for you. So, abhi mat khulna, ghar pe jaake usko kholo. And I was like quite surprised. I said, what it is all about. But, it's just when you come to know, you can see this Bhagwan's presence in hand in different ways. So, when we, at this journey, when we wait and see that probably, Swami will come in a human form and tell me, Swami takes different forms. And, that is how he connects different people at different points in time. And you don't know when, kaun se form mein, kahan se kya message mil sakta hai. That's why we have to be always alert, because grace is constantly flowing like a river. Whether we are ready to, get soaked into that grace. So these episodes, this is the second one. Third episode, I remember, I think this probably I've narrated in other places, but very, very, very visible presence of Bhagwan. Again, post Mahasamadhi. 2016, 15th Feb. So we are into the month of Feb now. So 15th Feb 2016, I was appointed as the executive assistant of the managing director of Tata Motors. Tata Motors is one of the top 5 companies in Indian corporate history in terms of size of revenues. It's one of the biggest organization, and uske MD ke executive assistant in Tata Motors is one of the senior most positions, because you actually even represent MD in different meetings and forums. So you have a lot of big responsibility to manage, and as a habit, or rather as some kind of a feeling that before I change jobs, I generally go to Parthi, have darshan of Swami in those days, and then post Mahasamadhi, you go close to the Samadhi, you touch Samadhi, seek prayer and blessings. I mean, you seek blessings from Swami and then come back. That has been my style of whatever, that's my belief or ritual or whatever you call it. But it comes sort of, I want to see him before I take up anything else. But this time kya hua ki I didn't get any chance, because 2016 May, 14th Feb was, the Sunday. I think 15th Feb was Monday, and I had to immediately shift my job. I didn't have any time between to take a break and go to Parthi and come. And it was a very big responsibility. And at 10:30 in the morning, when I went to my office, new office, I could see the power of the position, because there are 4 people running around me. Saab, aapko kya chahiye? Chai chahiye, coffee chahiye, or do you want this book? Do you want that? Ye aapko, and they started giving me the choices कि आपको क्या चाहिए? You pick and choose. I said I never had this kind of a power. यहाँ पर एक पेन और पेपर चाहिए to admin, you have to run around. या तो admin दौड़ के आपके पास आ रहा है, सर आपको कौन सा चाहिए? The very first 1 hour it opened my eyes कि I'm sitting in a very powerful position and I have a choice. Means I decide what I want. And it comes with huge responsibility. So 10:30 हो गए थे. 9 o'clock the office starts. 10:30 I was sitting on my desk. First day you don't have much work. So the MD had just arrived and he was still trying to settle down. I just prayed to Bhagwan. I said, every time I get a chance to come to Parthi to seek your blessings, now I don't have a chance, because hardly a break. I'm straight into next job. And I'm missing that blessing, because especially when you are into such an important position, without Bhagwan's blessing, you cannot take up. somehow I'm incomplete without him. That's a feeling I always have. So I cannot kind of pick up this. 10:30 baje, this was an internal prayer. I was just not even prayer. I was just feeling within, it is something where I'm missing something. And, I would have been very happy had I would have got a chance. आधे घंटे के बाद exactly at 11 a.m. This was 10:30 in the morning. It was kind of a prayer or conversation within. 11 baje, one envelope comes, and that admin guy comes and drops an envelope on my desk. And I'm a bit surprised. First day in office, you get an envelope, and that was address perfect. Everything is perfect. Because normally when you change houses, आपका पुराना address पे envelopes and letters come. But यहाँ पर address was perfect. So I was quite curious. I immediately opened it and I saw क्या है करके. I opened it. Can you give a guess what it must be?
Swami's picture.
Okay.
Vibhuti Prasadam.
Okay.
Yes, same here, Vibhuti.
So, okay, no, more or less you are there. So even a photograph and Vibhuti Prasadam is a great thing to have. Okay, right in your office and delivered. But even more starking thing was, there was one chit along with. So photograph tha, Vibhuti tha, as you rightly said. There was a chit. And chit pe likha hua tha, blessings directly from Prashant on your first day in office.
Wow.
So, I'm telling you, I was straight slipped into my tears and I was trying to hide myself because it was too overwhelming. 2016, Swami's physical body is not there, but this is a direct physical presence. He comes into your life. And that's why I said when he's pushing you into the living room from kitchen, he's walking with you, right? Sanjana auntie asked me that question, how it is you have to fulfill. You will go on doing your responsibilities, but he's catching your hand. He will never, ever leave you alone. Once you have him with you, that's about it. Then see how he will come in what form, you don't know. But this is exactly blessings get delivered on your desk. He actually is telling me that since you couldn't come, I came to you. He can reach anywhere, right? We have limitations, but he came. He said, chalo, I'll give you. See, a photograph, Vibhuti is fine, but letter and the words were so exceptional. Blessings directly from Prashadalam, which is what I was craving for. You couldn't get your blessings. And also writing there on your first day in office. How direct it can be. So that's why I said, keep your minds away, keep your questions away. When Swami chooses to be with you, it just goes beyond the mind. And it is a reality. All the concepts that we have been discussing, living room, kitchen, pacifier, these are all not mere concepts. These are actual reality of life. Okay, you will not find these analogies in any books. These are coming directly from the experience. And this is what exactly happens to you. Or a funny episode hua. Actually, we are running very close to the end. So there are two more experiences, but one I will tell you starting. This is 2019, 2 saal pehle ki baat, before lockdown, came into our lives, 2 or 3 years before. I was visiting Hyderabad, on a marriage, family marriage. It was Jan 5th, 2019. I can tell you exact dates. Jan 5th, Saturday was the wedding, and Sunday we had a flight back to Bombay. So internally we discussed what do we do on Sunday, because Sunday koi program tha, Saturday full day we were packed in the marriage and marriage got over. Sunday subah kya karenge? So I just said, let's do one thing. Let's go to Shivam. We have never been to Shivam, Swami's residence in Hyderabad. Let's go to the Shivam. And because fortunately I knew few students, Swami's staying there, I called them up front. I said, we are coming to OFI office as a family. Will it be possible to see Swami's room? He said, normally we don't allow anybody there. But since you're coming from Bombay and since you're an alumni, maybe I'll check with the state president. I said, do let me know. Even if it doesn't, at least we'll go to Shivam and have Darshan of Swami there. So we went, 5 तारीख को 6th of January morning, Sunday morning, we went to Shivam. Shivam gaye wahan par, and the moment we reached, they were waiting for us. They said, welcome, and we have got the permission. We'll take you to Swami's room also. I was delighted. I said, chalo, acha hai. Pehli baar Shivam ja rahe and you are getting the chance to go in Swami's room. So we went, pura pehle basic niche ka bhajan hall वगैरह सब दिखाया. Then Shivam is a building with the linga, Swami's, Shiv linga shape wala building hai. If you have not seen, you can see the photograph. And upar on the first floor, Swami's residence is there. So नीचे सब prayer करने के बाद they took us up and straight into Swami's bedroom. So we saw Swami's bedroom. Very simple. Na? Swami is probably the most simplest personality on earth. There's a simple bed, एक छोटा सा table है, और कुछ भी bed में भी कुछ दम नहीं था. I mean, have a cushy bed. He had a normal bed with a simple bed sheet, and as simple you can think of. But we saw that Swami's nice bedroom, very small one. Means you can't have second bed there. एक bed और छोटा सा passage to walk. तो वो रूम देखा हम लोग ने. फिर there is Swami's dining hall on the other side. Dining hall देखा. Then there is a small, open, you can say sit out types, which connects to these two rooms. So sit out pe they said, if you want, you can sit for 5 minutes, absorb the vibrations, and then we will go down. So 4-5 of us were there. We sat very peacefully, 5-7 minutes बैठे, and then we got up, and I was still in that room. I just made a passing statement to my family. I said, Satyam dekha. Satyam is Satyadeep Dharma Kshetra. Shivam dekh rahe hain abhi, because we are right in the Shivam. Sundaram reh gaya hai. To complete the three places, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Sundaram is in Chennai, as you know. Sundaram is Swami's residence in Chennai. I have never been to Chennai to see his place. I just made a casual statement, ki Satyam dekha, Shivam dekh rahe, Sundaram reh gaya. I made that statement. I said, let's see whenever Swami wills. We walked away. Came back to Mumbai. 6 Tarik was Sunday night flight. We came to Bombay. 7th or 8th, I don't remember exact date. 7th, 8th, within a day or two, I get a call from my boss. Okay, he says, see, there is a major assignment in Chennai. They want you to do this. And I said, ये क्या है, कहाँ पर जाना है? They said, Monday को है. Monday सुबह is a meeting. If you want, Monday early morning आप निकलोगे तो फिर late हो जाएगा, because you can't touch. You go on Sunday evening itself. And then, Monday morning we attend the meeting and come. And when is the meeting? 10th of February. I said, ठीक है, 1 महीने के बाद. But 7th, 8th January, he calls me. And being in the Tata group, we have hardly any companies in Chennai. So I was even more curious कि ये कौन सा assignment है जो चेन्नई में निकला है. मतलब hardly there is, everything is Bombay, Jamshedpur, Bangalore, Delhi. Hardly any companies in Chennai. So why I'm explaining this little more detail, because most of us will not know. And even I didn't know till then that Tata manufactures shoes, jute, chappal, which today they have been sold in Marks and Spencer stores. I had no idea about it. And they said, it's jute ki company hai which you have to go. I said, jute ki company means when did this happen? But anyway, so it was completely unknown, apparently, weird kind of situation where to go and talk to an MD of a juta company which is part of the Tata group. So some excuse, right? Bhagwan sees some excuse for you to go. So I said, chalo jate, let's go. And apparently, as buddhi bhi aise, it doesn't click to you immediately. As time progressed, when I booked my tickets, it just struck me. I was speaking a few days back about Sundaram, and now I'm getting a chance to go to Chennai within 2 days. And they are telling me to go on a Sunday because Monday morning ko meeting hai. A couple of students there. I said, Sunday I'm coming. Is there any way I can visit Sundaram? They said, Sunday is the best day to come. You come in the morning, don't come in the evening, come in the morning, give us a call, we'll pick you up, take you to Sundaram. Sunday मैं शाम को सुबह पहुंच जाता हूँ, 10th February, I go there. शाम को they take me in the Sundaram. Sundaram is absolutely celestial, the entire environment is celestial. So you go there, you sit for bhajans, and Sundaram bhajans are very famous. The singers are superb and they really sing from the heart. So Sundaram bhajans ke baad, the student actually takes me to Swami's room on the top. He said, this is where Swami stay, this is the bedroom, this is everything. I was like, I just told him that 1 महीने पहले मैंने खाली बोला था कि I've seen Satyam, Shivam देख रहा हूँ, Sundaram ने रह गया है. 1 महीने के अंदर God comes and fulfills your wishes. I mean, you can say it's a coincidence. Logically, luck hai, ho gaya. But if you go deeper, is really coincidence? Is it luck by chance? Some juta company which Tata had acquired some way back, uska kuch MD ne mujhe kyun bulaya? I have no connection, won't even know him. But my boss said you are supposed to go. So chalo jate hain, but it was only an excuse. So God finds different ways to connect with him in different ways. Just because you have a desire to see him, he says, come, I'll make things for you. And it's not that this happens only to one individual. I think look at our respective lives, you will see it happens in all our lives. Only thing is, if we're aware, immediately it gives us the connection of how Bhagwan has designed different ways, for us. So there are very many experiences. Time is short. I will cut short here. But my objective of sharing this was all the concepts that we have been discussing so much, with so much of, kind of debate and yes and no, our mind goes into that state, right? But it's not just the concept, it's a reality. And these experiences multiply like anything. Again, maybe one line I can explain to you. In last 2 years in COVID, you don't have to go anywhere. He comes in your dreams at every festival morning and gives you darshan. Every festival morning, Guru Purnima, Ganesh Chaturthi, birthday, Aradhana, Mahotsavam, pick. He says, you can't travel because of COVID. I can travel. So he comes, he blesses in the dream in different forms. He comes in the dream. That's why I don't have time to explain every dream, but he comes in the dreams. He makes his presence felt and goes away at different times in different festivals. So that's why I'm saying nothing can stop this relationship. Once you are completely in sync with him, he will reach out to you if you have a constraint. And that's why last time we mentioned this, more than we loving him, he's madly in love with his devotees. You have to just show a little bit of inclination, he'll come running. He's just waiting. जैसे माँ बोलती है ना, बच्चा थोड़ा सा रोले, I'll come go running. He's just waiting for that one cry. The only problem is, do we really cry for that? If we are crying for our living room problems, कि बच्चा दे दो, शादी करा दो, job दे दो, it's a living room problems. He will give out of his love, but that will not give us the relationship that we want with him. If we say that I want only you and you alone, then see the difference. The world will change, dramatically change. And once you have a creator with you, creation naturally comes as a package deal. Automatically sab ho jata. He takes care of you. Then you don't have to worry. Everything is designed by him. The master plans become so clear that you just sit and enjoy the drama. ऐसा नहीं कि everything good, bad things also happen to you in this phase. But he is catching your hand so strong that एक छोटा सा भी ऐसा दुख नहीं लगेगा कि अरे ये क्यों हुआ. You never ask that question कि why. Because he is next to you, he just says, enjoy, passing cloud, passing cloud, passing cloud. He's clearing the karmas. That's why the Sadguru, when we are into the deep waters, when the waves come, when the high waves come, or when there is more depth and we happen to slip, he's catching so firm, he's saying, ho jayega, continue, I'm with you. That constant message comes to you all the time. And that's why the so-called karma, all that actually melts away. Karma aake jayenge, but you have got your beloved next to you. You don't have to worry anymore. Isn't it? So anyway, I'll stop here. I've got one more song, a 2-minute song. And actually a 2-minute song is video clipping on discourse. And then we'll stop. If it is okay, max 5 minutes. When 50 okay, 55 will close sharp. Is that okay? I know.
We're going to continue till 8 o'clock.
You all have to prepare dinner also, so I'll not extend you guys till then.
No problem.
So just give me a minute. I'll just put on that song. Let me know if you're able to hear this. Again, I would suggest all of you just close your eyes. It's just an audio. You don't have to see anything. Just close your eyes and enjoy this song. The song is very simple. All of us would have heard this many times. But again, the words are beautiful.
Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodaram Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodaram Ramanarayanam Janaki Vallabham Ramanarayanam Janaki Vallabham
जैसे बुलाते नहीं।
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्
रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्।
कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं,
कौन खाते नहीं,
बीर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं।
वीर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं।
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्
रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्।
कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं,
माँ यशोदा की जैसे सुलाते नहीं।
माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं।
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्
रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्।
कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं,
गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं।
गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं।
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम् रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्
रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्।
Hope it was nice, interesting, very deep. Summary is that come what may, if you ask, you call him from bottom of your heart. He lives with you every moment. He eats with you, drinks with you, sleeps with you, talks to you, everything he does. Just that we need to have that faith that he's there all the time with us. Okay, then last piece of Bhagwan's discourse.
స్వామి యొక్క తత్వము,
Swami's nature,
నా యొక్క పవిత్రత ఎవ్వరు కూడా అనుభవించలేరు, తెలుసుకోలేరు.
Bhagwan's divinity and the sanctity,
దానికి
nobody
నేను
can
ఒక
know
మాట
in
చెప్పాను.
full.
ఫస్ట్ క్రిస్మస్ ఇక్కడ జరిగినప్పుడు నేను ఒక చిన్న పాట పాడినాను.
On the day of the first Christmas celebration here, Swami sang a song
20 years back.
20 years back.
Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. My life is my message, expansion is my life. My life is my message, expansion is my life. No season for love, no reason for love, no birth, no death.
No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death.
Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my friend.
Love is my home, truth is my breath, bliss is my food.
సాయిబాబా సమాచారం మీరు ఎక్కడ చెప్పాలనుకుంటే ఈ పాటతో మీరు ముగించండి, ఎంతైనా వాళ్ళు అర్థం చేసుకోగలరు.
Sai message can be conveyed like this. By singing this song, they can understand.
Love is his form.
Love is his form.
అందుకోసం నేను చెప్తా, మై లైఫ్ ఈజ్ మై మెసేజ్.
So Bhagavan says, my life is my message.
కనుక మీరందరూ కూడాను ప్రపంచంలో అందరితో కూడాను సోదరత్వాన్ని పెంచుకొని
Develop the feelings of fraternity.
బ్రదర్హుడ్ ఆఫ్ మ్యాన్, ఫాదర్హుడ్ ఆఫ్ గాడ్, ఈ రెండింటిని మీరు దృఢం చేసుకోండి.
The brotherhood of man and fatherhood of God. Strengthen these two ideas.
Okay, so I think Swami sums it up very beautifully, that brotherhood of man and father of God, and that can be achieved when we are completely in sync with him, because he is a divine mother, father, Sai Baba as we call him. And meet any divine master, any divine master who is very close to our heart. If we call upon him, I think definitely he responds, and responds in different ways, as we have seen. Just let's have faith. Let's keep praying to him. Let's have faith, and as simple as possible, we can make our lives and offer it to him, back to him. So with this prayer, let's close this session. If there are any questions, we will stay back after the Samasta Loka. So people have any clarifications, we can do, and then we'll close. So Bindubai, you want to take up for Samasta Loka? Your voice is far better than me.
No. I think your bhava is overriding. Oh, samasta loka sukhino bhavantu, samasta loka sukhino bhavantu, samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय बोलिए भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank
Sai
you,
Ram.
everyone. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Beautiful.
Thank
brother.
you, Siddharth,
Sai
for those beautiful experiences. Thank
Lovely.
you so much.
Sai Ram, Sai
The
Ram.
video, the bhajans, beautiful.
Very inspiring.
Yes.
Sai Ram.
Sai
And
Ram.
thank you so much, Bindu. Thanks for today's session. And Pratibha, lots of love to you.